Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video talking about the Walking Dead spin-off television series, which should be starting in year 2015, and whether or not I think it's actually going to work. Alright, so I think this is a good video to discuss, good topic for us to kind of think about as we sort of get started for The Walking Dead Season 4. And then, of course, next year they will have, I assume, double production with AMC for The Walking Dead for the following year. And then in 2015, when that's all finished, we will see The Walking Dead new spin-off series start at some point in 2015. I mentioned before, my belief is that they're going to be showing it at a different time of the year. Those are my thoughts on it. I think they are going to go ahead and play it at a different time of the year. I don't think they would want to play both of them together because then people might burn out on it. They might not like it. Now, I did kind of talk about this a little bit in my my last video, so I don't want to repeat myself. But strategically, if I was doing it, I would put it in the summertime. And if they go along with that and they actually show it at a different time of the year so they don't have to compete with all of the shows in the fall time when they're going, and also the other main Walking Dead original TV series, then I think for sure it will work. Because, I mean, how many of us out there are there that, we love the Walking Dead television series, but then during the summertime, there's really nothing, there's no new content aside from the comic book series and maybe the video game, depending, right? So, me personally, I think that just based on the idea, the premise alone, I really feel like Rick, even though Rick is a great character and I love his struggle in the Walking Dead storyline, both the television series and the comic book series, as well as all the other characters in the show and in the books, even though they're really, really interesting, I personally think that Robert Kirkman, his whole premise, his whole idea, is basically what makes it work. It's the same reason as why the video game worked, even though it didn't include really any characters from the television series. Clementine and is it Lee, I believe? They are completely new characters created for the video game, and as well as all the others in the game too. And that game won Game of the Year. And it's basically because they've sort of cracked the code, as Kevin Smith has said before, on what would work with regards to a zombie apocalypse and what people would be interested in seeing. And the most interesting thing about it, I think, is to see characters change, progress, and then to try to, do predictions and think about who's going to survive, who's going to die, the uncertainty, not knowing what's going to happen next, unpredictability, and very intense struggle, which I think is very interesting to see and definitely a lot of fun. Now, if they can translate that into the new series and show it at a different time of the year than the regular Walking Dead is on, I would say, I can pretty much say, guarantee, it's probably going to work. I mean, unless it's really bad quality and they can't replicate the same quality as they did for the first series, the original series, then it's got to work. The only thing that may cause some trouble is, and a lot of people have talked about this in the comments, is they're worried that the original Walking Dead television series, which will still be ongoing at that time as far as we know, it probably will be, when you have both going at the same time, especially if they're going to be doing like 16 episodes and 16 episodes, let's say, that's very possible. They could do something like that. If they were to do both 16, then we might run into a situation where the quality might start to decrease. So the original series may decrease in quality, and in order for them to kind of split their time and be working on both at the same time, which is a concern. A lot of people think maybe the quality of the original series will decrease when they release this new one, and then it may sort of cause the show to not be as good as it was originally. So, and that is a possibility. I mean, it is very possible. What I hope that they'll do is they'll set it at a different time of the year, show it during the summer, and then at the same time they will keep the same people involved with who are doing the original series, the same producers, writers, everything like that, all of the production people. They bring in new actors every season and stuff, but all of the core production people so that we get the same kind of quality of show. And I hope they hire on a completely, new and well-experienced production crew and writers and everything to head the new series. Now, if they do that, then we're good to go, because then we don't have to worry about the quality of the actual regular TV series, right? Because it's going to be the same. You'll have the same people. And then you'll have new people that can completely create new characters, new environments, and just an overall new story that means something totally different from what we're used to in the regular Walking Dead. I think it could be very interesting if they go a different route from the original. Instead of having your Rick Grimes good guy cop as your lead, how interesting would it be to see a character opposite to that, somewhat like the Governor, and have him be the lead for the new series? Maybe, I don't know, a convict or something of the sort, or just a bad dude, or maybe somebody that was not that great to begin with, but then once the zombie apocalypse hit, he really became evil, or something of the sort. I think no matter what they do, if they want it to work, they have to make it very different. It can't be the same as the original series. It can't be similar. You can't have a character whose wife is, cheating on him and he goes into a coma. You got to make it totally, completely different. That way, even though the zombies are still there and they're a threat in the world, we get a completely new series that, has completely new characters and are also not like the characters in the original series. Because then it would be interesting. I mean, if you have your typical good guy leader, similar to Rick in that way, and he's willing to do basically the same things Rick does, but he's kind-hearted and all this kind of stuff, you run into the risk of people calling him a Rick clone, right? And all the other characters in the group too, clones, right? So they should make a very strong effort to make all of those characters and circumstances and everything totally different from the way the regular series is. Somebody in the comments in my last video brought up that they'd like to see it take place in London or someplace like that. I think that would be a really good idea. That's a great idea. A different location. Don't have it even be, I guess you could do the United States if you want to, but I would like to see, maybe someplace in Europe or, something totally different from what we're used to. Completely different feel. That way we can get, a totally different series. And that way it won't be anywhere like the first one, and then I think people will buy into it, they'll be interested to see it, and then you could have both. So we'll see how it all turns out. We'll see with the news updates, of course, I'll let you guys know as soon as we find out and they announce how many episodes it's going to be, what kind of budget, if they announce that. Sometimes that's private, they don't announce it always, but any casts that are going to be involved and any kind of information they release at all. I'll do videos on it speculating, but personally I think it will work as long as they follow Kirkman's formula, which they will because he's a executive producer. And they also make it very different. It can't be similar in almost any way. If it is, people are going to get bored. They're going to be like, I don't want to start over. I don't want to get to know completely new characters and have it be. No, we got to see something completely different. It shouldn't be the same at all. They shouldn't be in the same location. They shouldn't act the same way. They shouldn't be necessarily, your typical good guy characters. We need to see something totally different, and then I would guarantee you it will work. That being said, somebody also said they hope that AMC can get some of the other people that were involved in some of the other shows involved with it. Some people said, they'd like to see someone like Vince Gilligan for Breaking Bad do it or something like that. Man, if they could get him along board and his style in a zombie apocalypse, that would be his writing style, and that would be amazing. They've got a lot of people, and they have been known to, once they find good people in one of their shows, they'll use them for other shows. For example, Morgan, Lenny James from The Walking Dead, he's in Low Winter Sun. Another character who was in Breaking Bad, Gale, the guy who played Gale, he's in Low Winter Sun. So, there's a very good chance that maybe some of the people who are working on Breaking Bad or some of the other people they've had in other shows can go ahead and get started with the Walking Dead spinoff. And I think it will work, man. It's such a great universe. It's such a great idea. I think we could do, they could do twice as many episodes, 32 episodes a year with another show, and that would be just fine. They couldn't do it all with the cast and the production people for the original because the actors will get burned out and it'd be too much work and all that kind of stuff. So I am very excited to see how this all turns out for 2015, and whether or not I think it will work, I'm pretty much certain that it will work. Pretty much guaranteed. Definitely work better than Little Winter Sun has, at least so far. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say about this one. Let me know what you guys think and whether or not you think it's going to work. I'll call it here. It's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, and I'm saying peace.